All right, so I want to welcome you to another live session. This is Alluvia Properties, and right here tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about real estate investment. Well, we're going to be comparing real estate investment with Ponzi scheme. Now, as a typical Nigerian, I believe if you're watching this broadcast tonight, you must have heard about the word Ponzi scheme before. As a typical Nigerian, I believe you must have heard Ponzi before, and we want to compare tonight real estate and Ponzi. Sorry, let me set up a few things here. All right, so let's get started. We're looking at real estate investment versus Ponzi scheme. If you're joining this platform for the first time, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button, and like this video so that this video can be recommended to more people who might be interested in such a content. Excuse me, just like this one. So real estate investment and Ponzi scheme can both involve people putting money into a project expecting profits, but they are fundamentally very different in structure, legality, risk, and sustainability. And that's the truth. Anybody putting their money into real estate is because there is a proposed profit that person is looking at. And so also those who put their money into Ponzi scheme. Now there's been a lot of Ponzi schemes in Nigeria. We will still talk about more of them later. But the last one that really broke a lot of people's cameras back was CIVEX, which took place last year, where people were putting their money into this investment that is crypto backed. Many times when you hear about Ponzi these days, they always try to link it with a cryptocurrency. Now, there's nothing wrong with cryptocurrency as a financial asset, but many people these days use crypto to perpetrate all sorts of schemes. So people put their money to CIVEX with the understanding that they were also investing into a cryptocurrency asset, which will give them, I think, about 100% every 35 days or so. At the point, it was really doing fine up until the whole thing crashed, which is what happens many times to such kind of schemes. It's always so amazing that Nigerians feel comfortable to put their money into a crypto asset that they don't know how it operates, they don't know people behind it, they know nothing. I remember seeing, I even did a video. If you go through this platform, you see a video about a man who lost 11 million naira because his wife convinced him to put money into CBEX. Imagine the kind of money that person would have made if he had bought a real estate investment that same period. By now, it would be in serious money. One, he will have made a complete return on his investment, which is 100% return on investment, and will have made much more than that. But look, Nigerians like to put their money into a Ponzi scheme that they don't know how it works compared to a real estate that is very tangible. You can see your property. They can take you to the land that you have bought or the building you have bought. It's yours for life. It's not volatile. So for those joining us tonight, we are comparing cryptocurrency, sorry, we're comparing real estate investment with Ponzi scheme. Many Ponzi scheme has come and gone in Nigeria, and many will still come up. The amazing is that Nigerians always keep falling victim to Ponzi scheme. But then we're looking at how real estate is far better than crypto tonight. Now let's look at first of all, comparing both of them. Let's look at the core activity. Real estate investment, it involves buying, developing, renting, or selling property. So with a real estate investment, you are buying a property. It's a physical asset. You can see it. You can choose to develop that property. Maybe it's a bare land that you bought. You can choose to develop it by building a structure on it. You can refurbish it. You can do a lot of things on it. You can rent it, because it's your property. You bought it. You can choose to rent, or you can even sell the property outrightly. That is real estate investment. Ponzi scheme, on the other hand, involves using money from new investors to pay older investors. Now, that is the structure of many Ponzi schemes. They come around, they tell you that you can make 100% between a very short period of time. So you put in your money, the next person puts in his or her money, and the next one after, and on like that, up until a time when it becomes impossible to sustain the scheme. Then you will hear that the scheme crashed, the platform shuts down, and your money is gone. Now, this is completely different from real estate investment, where you can have access to the property you have bought, you have access to the documents of the property. Yes, I know you need to do your due diligence with real estate. I'm not saying everything is 100% roller coaster. No, you need to do your due diligence. You need to have your title documents and everything. But if you have done your due diligence, if you have employed the services of qualified personnel like a lawyer to help you see the whole thing through, you're dealing with a legitimate company, then the property you have bought is yours. Unlike a Ponzi scheme where the property, whatever you're investing in, is not really yours. It's just a facade. They just go online, you see, you have some money, and withdrawing it becomes a problem. So the core activity of these two separates them. Real estate, you are buying, you are owning, you are developing, you're renting, or you can outrightly sell whatever you have invested into it. But that is not possible with Ponzi scheme. You just put in your money, hoping to cash something tangible out. And in many cases, yes, I know some people at the initial stage will cash out, but then at the end of the day, more people end up losing compared to those who cash out of those kind of scheme. Now, the second feature of real estate investment is source of profit. Rental income. What are the sources of profit for a real estate investment? Rental income. You have built a property, you have put it up for rent. I said this in the last video that there are a lot of landlords in this Lagos. They have many properties. Every other month money is dropping into their account. Imagine you're a landlord, you have a house, you put it up for rent. Maybe you have a 4-bedroom flat, a 6-bedroom flat, and the rest like that. Every month throughout the year you are guaranteed of an income. Now, rent is very expensive in a place like Lagos. Averagely, maybe you're getting a house for like maybe 1.5 2 million naira. Imagine if 1.5 or 2 million naira is dropping in your account every month, every other month. Let's put it that way, depending on the number of properties you have. That is something tangible. So with real estate, you can identify the source of profit through rental income, land appreciation. Maybe you have bought some parcels of land and is appreciating in value. There's somebody I watched his video some time ago. He bought some land around year 2000, 2001, as in thousands of acres. Now that person, he said the land portfolio he has now is worth over 10 billion naira, because the land he bought thousands of acres in the year 2000 or 2002 thereabout. That's like 23 years ago. 20 to 23 years ago, sorry, 23 to 25 years ago. Now that kind of person, that land, you cannot compare the amount he bought that land. Probably bought them for like 50,000 naira a plot. Now that same land now, I tell you, it can't sell less than close to a million naira a plot, depending on the location. So land, you can understand that the source of profit of real estate investment is land appreciation. It's something you can calculate that when you buy a landed property over a period of time, the value appreciates. And when the value appreciates, you can choose to sell and make a lot of profit. Another source of profit for real estate investment is development gains. Maybe you have built a house, you have to renovate the house, you can rent it out or sell it at a higher price, thereby making more money. Now, on the other hand, for a Ponzi scheme, there is no real business profit. You don't even know what they are doing with your money. Some will tell you they are doing cryptocurrency with it. The truth is that they are not doing any crypto. You're welcome. You're welcome, Don Doherty. You're welcome on board tonight. We're looking at real estate investment versus Ponzi scheme. If you have done Ponzi scheme before, type it in the comment section. Let's see you. But I tell you, anytime, any day, real estate investment actually beats Ponzi. Beats Ponzi hands down. Whatever you buy with real estate is your own for life. Ponzi is just short term. Many times more people end up losing than gaining any profit of Ponzi related schemes. All right, so in terms of source of profit, there is no real business profit. Payouts come from incoming deposit. The structure of many Ponzi scheme is that they use the money of those who are just coming in to pay those who are already on the platform. So a time comes when the platform gets saturated, when they have used the money of the new people to pay their old people, that it gets to a point that there is nothing to pay anybody anymore, because the demand is much more higher than the way the money is coming in. Then you will hear that the platform has crashed, and then the platform shuts down. So there is no serious source of profit in Ponzi scheme. Many times you don't know what they're investing your money into. Some will tell you they're investing your money into crypto, they will tell you they're investing your money into this and that. If you find out at the end of the day, discover that they are not investing your money into all these kind of things. Now, when it comes to investment, it's important to know the assets your money is being invested into. If you're investing your money into land, you will see the landed property. If you're investing your money into an already built structure, you will see it. And that's why real estate beats Ponzi scheme hands down anytime, any day. Number three, we're comparing the features of real estate investment with Ponzi scheme. Number 3 point here is the asset backing. You know, the real estate investment is backed by physical property or land. Like I keep saying, you can see it. They would, on the day of allocation, like if you are buying property through us now, there is a day called after you've made your payment, your property will be allocated to you. I'm going to be uploading some videos on this platform to show you some allocation of some of our clients. After you bought the land will be allocated to you. You'll be taken to allocation means you being taken to the exact location of the land that you have bought. So you will see your land, you will see the size, you will see the position, the location where it is. That is allocation. So it's a physical asset that you can see. Whereas Ponzi scheme, on the other hand, there is usually no real asset or fake inflated asset. That's true. There is no real asset. Or they just keep telling you, oh, your asset is now worth this amount, X amount, Y amount. You may be seeing it on the platform. It's purely digital. You are not seeing the physical asset. So at the end of the day, you really don't have anything. That's why it's called Ponzi. They just give you a kind of a make believe, and there's nothing really tangible to attach to it at the end of the day. Now, number four is sustainability. We're looking at the features between a real estate investment and a Ponzi scheme investment. Sustainability. Real estate can generate long-term wealth, and that is the most beautiful thing about real estate investment. It can generate for you long-term wealth, the kind of wealth you can even hand over to your children from one generation to another. I remember I was watching a Nigerian broadcaster on TV, and she was saying that even now, her grandfather had died many years ago, but from the man's real estate investment, the grandchildren still get, a portion of it up to now paid to them. In fact, there's a popular Nigerian actress, I may not want to mention her name now. She also talks about the real estate investment of her grandfather, that she still enjoys it up till now. She's in her late 40s. She's still enjoying the real estate investment of her grandfather, not her father now, her grandfather up to now. So the real estate investment is sustainable. It can generate long-term wealth. Whereas for Ponzi scheme, it eventually collapses when new investors reduce. The moment it becomes possible to keep paying people, Ponzi scheme always crash. That is the normal thing. There's a time when it starts, they're trying to recruit people, then a time comes when it begins to get popular, then all of a sudden their popularity gets to the peak, the next thing it crashes, and everybody that is yet to be paid, they end up losing their money. At the end of the day, those who are not paid, they are always much more than those who got paid. So Ponzi scheme is always risky because you end up losing your money at the end of the day. All right, number five is transparency. Now, for real estate investment, property documents, valuation, and ownership can be verified. Now, if you buy a property, with real estate investment, there's change of ownership and all the rest. There's title deed. The land can be tracked that you are the owner. You can go to the Ministry of Lands and you can go there and verify your name is there, that you are the owner of that landed property. You have the documents, you have the valuation, you have the ownership. The ownership can be verified. But when it comes to Ponzi scheme, all that there is nothing like that too. Operations are usually secretive and unclear. Now, for Ponzi, the operation of a Ponzi scheme is always secretive. Many times you don't know the people running the platform. You don't know where they're operating from. You know nothing. It's, in fact, some of them go as far as, if you want to register on the platform, you just have to log in such a way that you don't say any other information until you log into the platform. Everything is done in a very, very secretive way. See, any business you are doing that looks too secretive, please avoid it. It always ends in tears. And any investment that you put your money into, that they are promising you what is too good to be true. If something is too good to be true, there is a high chance it's never true. If somebody is promising you an investment that will give you 100% in a month, you say, I'm in investment space. The question you should ask that person is, if this company can give me 100% in a month, how is the company itself making profit from that business? Because I mean, if it's 100% a month, they're not giving me all the profit they should be making. And nobody does a business for charity. Everybody does business because they want to make profit. So if they cannot tell me how they are going to make their own money in that investment, then there's no point doing it. Real estate is not like that. Nobody's going to promise you 100% in a month on real estate. It takes time, but it is slow and steady. The value will surely, definitely appreciate. So the sixth point here is regulation. Now, real estate investment is governed by property laws and financial regulations. Yes, there is property law. The governor is the one that processes, your C of O. That's a government-based thing. So there is a government involvement in real estate. Until you get your C of O, you are not completely the owner of a property. Except you are buying in bulk, with a generalized title, fine, it's still okay. But then when it comes to Ponzi scheme, it is completely an illegal financial fraud. There is no regulation, there is no government agency that is backing it. And if there's no government agency backing it, then you need to be careful, because the high chances of you losing your money, sorry, the chances of you losing your money is quite very high. If you're joining us, you're enjoying what I'm sharing tonight, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. We're talking about real estate investment versus Ponzi scheme. Real estate investment versus Ponzi scheme. You can just go ahead and drop a comment. And if you have a question, you can go ahead and also put in the comment question. I'm very much available to attend to all your questions and all your requests tonight. All right, I'm trying to respond to someone. Okay, we have more people joining us tonight. You're welcome on board. This is Alluvia Properties, and here tonight we're talking about real estate investment versus Ponzi scheme. If you've done a Ponzi scheme before, drop it in the comment section. What was the experience like? Did you make money or did you lose money? But I can tell you, more people lost money in Ponzi compared to real estate investment. All right, let's look at the next point here, which is talking about the risk level. The risk level. Now, with real estate investment, market risk exists. I mean, I'm not telling you that real estate is 100% free, everything, there's no problem. No, no, no. In every investment, in every business, there is always a form of risk or the other. Any business that does not have any risk will not have a return. Return on investment is because there's a risk that has to be taken. The higher the risk, the higher will be the return. The lower the risk, the lower the return also. So real estate may have its own risk. That is very important. We should know that, and that's why you always need to do your due diligence, regardless of the company you're investing with, the individual, or the type of investment you're doing in real estate. Always do your due diligence. Make sure you have the right documentation for everything you're doing. When it's time for allocation, make sure you're available. If you cannot go by yourself, make sure your agent is sending you videos to confirm your allocation. All these are what you need to do. Don't just say, oh, I've just paid them money and that's all. No, you need to follow up. You need to follow up. You need to get the documents. You need to be there for allocation or get the videos of the allocation. So the risk level in real estate investment, risk exists, but assets remain tangible. If you've been able to scale the orders of any risk, the fact is that the asset is yours for life, and it's a tangible asset. The problem many times with Nigerians is that we like a fast approach to life. We want a business or investment that will give us 100% return every month. Those kind of businesses don't exist. Don't let anybody deceive you. If it's too good to be true, it's most likely not true. So aside market risk with real estate investment, like I said, the asset is tangible and is yours for life. Whereas for Ponzi scheme, the risk is extremely high. See, in investment, when risk is high, capital cannot be guaranteed. That is the truth. When you are doing a business that is giving you 50%, 70%, even from 30% upward every month. Your capital cannot be guaranteed. You are setting up yourself for complete loss. That's the truth in any form of investment. I'm in the investment space. I'm a forex trader. I understand all these things. I understand forex trading, crypto trading, and even real estate investment. Any investment that gives you unreasonably high return in a short period of time, your capital cannot be guaranteed. Now, with real estate, like I said, your capital, your asset can grow, can appreciate in value over time. If you invest in land, for instance, after like a year or above a year, you can start earning 30, 50, 100% return on your land, depending on infrastructural development, depending on location and other factors. The longer you leave it, which is called land banking, the more it appreciates. But the way Ponzi scheme comes, it comes with a very quick return. And that quick return does not guarantee your capital. That's what I'm trying to say. Imagine I learned somebody under under CBEX last year, invested about 50 million naira. I'm sure that person must have been calculating in her head that this money I will just make 50 million every month the next 12 months. But at the end of the day, what happened? She lost the entire 50 million naira. That is Ponzi scheme. Now imagine if that person had used that 50 million naira and invested it into real estate. Do you know the number of plots, the number of hectares she will have bought with that money? Do you know the value of that property, the value that property will be now? At least on the minimum, she could have made close to 100% return on that property. She will have her capital back and have an interest of another 50 million, which is safe. But see, people are too aggressive with returns. They want 100% every month for 12 months. Okay, you have 50 million with 100% every month. That means 50 million times 12. That's about six. Uh, that's about 600 million. Yeah, that's over half a billion naira. That person will have been calculating in her head. But you see, that risk was too high to take. It's too high to take. So if you're there, you're planning to put your money in Ponzi, think twice about it. It doesn't always end well. Instead of putting your money in Ponzi scheme, rather put it into real estate investment where you can have peace of mind. All right, number 8 here talks about returns. Now, the returns on real estate investment is usually moderate and realistic. I've said that. It's not something extremely high. If you're talking about 100%, sometimes that's like a year plus. It's a year plus or more. It's moderate and realistic profit. Whereas for Ponzi scheme, they often promise usually high or guaranteed returns. That's what they say. See, let me tell you one truth about investment. There is no investment that will give you 100% return in a month and your capital is guaranteed. It does not exist. It does not. If it happened, it's a luck. It happened by luck, but there's no guarantee. The investment you can talk about capital guarantee, you're talking about 5% return, 3% return a month. Sure, you can have guaranteed capital. Even at that, sometimes market fluctuation can still affect, but to a large extent, your capital may be guaranteed. But you are seeing somebody telling you to do, you do 100% return and capital guarantee. That's scam. It doesn't happen anywhere. You end up losing your money. So with real estate investment, there's a form, the return is always moderate. So there's a lot of it's always moderate and very realistic. So the risk is minimal, with real estate. Then number 9 is cash flow. There's a lot of cash flow in real estate. Cash flow in the form of rent. You've built a house, you put it up for rent, or even you bought a large expanse of land, you can as well put it up for rent. Put some people, they buy land, put it up for lease, and they are earning something on that land while they are waiting for the price, to appreciate. So you can put your land or property up for rent, for lease, or you can choose to sell it. There's cash flow. There's cash flow. That some people, all they do is they go around, buy a house, furnish, refurbish it, then they resell. That's what they do, and that's how they make their money. So, and they do that many times in the course of a year. That's how they do their own real estate investment, and they are making a whole lot of money, doing that. Whereas when it comes to Ponzi scheme, it often prioritizes unusually high or guaranteed. Okay, I've mentioned that. I'm talking about cash flow now. For cash flow, for real estate, we talk about rent, leases, or sale. Whereas for cash flow for Ponzi scheme, money recycling from newer participants. That's what they do. They keep recycling money from new participants. There's nothing new they're doing. There is no business behind Ponzi scheme. Let me tell you that the truth. They are not putting your money into anything. They're just taking money from A and from A. then they use the next money from B to pay A. They use the money from, that's how they do it. They are not putting your money into any business. There's no known business they put your money into. They just recycle the money, between people who are joining one after the other. Now the last point here shows economic contribution. Real estate investment creates housing, offices, jobs, infrastructure. I believe you are watching this video tonight. I'm broadcasting in the night now in Nigeria. I believe you are watching from your house. That is a real estate asset. Maybe you're watching from your house, you're watching from church, you're watching from office, you're watching from your shop, your business place, a commercial place, wherever. It's a house, it is a real estate asset. So there's a contribution of real estate investment to economic development. It contributes to jobs. There are people that are employed to build those structures. There are people that are employed to maintain the structure. It contributes largely to economic development. Real estate contributes largely because it answers one of the major needs of man, which is accommodation. There are three major needs of man. There's feeding, there's shelter, which is accommodation, and there's transportation. Okay, there's also clothing. Number four. So real estate answers this quest, and as such it contributes majorly to economic development. Whereas Ponzi scheme, on the other hand, it destroys savings and trust. If you see people who lost their money in Ponzi scheme, they will tell you that I will never do it again. But it's a lie. They will do it again another time. Is it not Nigerians? So if somebody is poaching you for Ponzi scheme tonight, I tell you it mostly ends up in tears. Instead of Ponzi scheme, a real estate asset is far better. Imagine all the money you've been putting into Ponzi scheme over the years. What did you get out of it? Do you know if you have used all that money to invest into real estate, your financial situation will be way better now compared to then. You see, it's better to invest in assets that have a long term standing compared to one that is just a fluke, that is just a trend and will pass with time. All right, let's look at some common warning signs of Ponzi scheme. I've been talking about Ponzi is not good things, but what are the warning signs? Because sometimes people don't know. They don't know, so we need to let you know. Now, when you keep hearing the word guaranteed high returns with little or no risk, that is a warning sign. Run, no, run, no, run, no. I say it. There is nothing like guaranteed return of 100%, and you say the capital is guaranteed. Where is a lie? If you're talking about guaranteed returns, you're talking about small profit like 3%, 5%, 7%. Yeah, you may have, but you're talking of returns of 100%, 50%, and you say guaranteed capital. There is nothing like that in investment. That is a red flag that your capital is as good as you have dashed it out. If you ever make profit with those kind of investment, it's just by luck. And if it happens once, it's not guaranteed that it will happen again. That's the truth. It just happened by luck. Just take your luck and walk away. Not that you now feel it's going to be happening every month. No, it doesn't work that way. Number two is that common warning signs of Ponzi scheme is that there's always a pressure to recruit more people. When you have ever been in a Ponzi scheme, there's always that pressure. Oh, you need more people. If the more people you bring in, the more money you make. Does anybody tell you that about real estate investment? You are buying your property for yourself. You are the owner. You don't need to tell anybody. It's not compulsory. It's your property for life. You're buying it for yourself, for your children, and your grandchildren. But for Ponzi scheme, they keep encouraging you to recruit more people, recruit more people, recruit more people. I remember somebody met me last year, early last year. I was trying to sell CBEX to me. He didn't even say it was CBEX anyway, and he kept telling me, oh, this investment, he has made 11 million naira, he has made this, he has made that. I need to come in because me, I'm a mentor. I meet people, I talk investment, I'm a forex trader and mentor. I'm in the space. So talk to people, the kind of person you are, they will listen to you, this and that. I did my research. And for all those who cared to listen, I've been saying it since 2024 that CBEX was going to crash. The minute I need to CBEX, I said I wasn't doing. And barely 2 weeks after that, CBEX crashed. So I will have put in my money and I will have lost. I will have brought people in. They will have said, you are the one that brought us into the whole thing. you know. So there's always that pressure to recruit more people when it comes to Ponzi scheme, which is not there with real estate. Real estate is a personal thing. You like it, you go for it. You don't like it, you don't. But I encourage you to like it because there's a lot of benefit doing it. Number three common warning signs of Ponzi scheme is no clear explanation of how profits are generated. They are never going to explain to you. They are never going to explain to you how the profit is being generated. If you're watching tonight, just let us know where you're watching from. Drop your location. Let us know where you're watching us from. would like to know where you're watching from. We're looking at, we're comparing real estate investment with Ponzi scheme. Real estate investment with Ponzi scheme. That's what we're looking at tonight. So they're never going to tell you how the money they are making, how they are generating it. They never do that. So if somebody is not telling you how they make the money they're going to give you, how do you have to trust them? You don't have to. And that's the reason why you need to do your due diligence when it comes to all this kind of investment, because you just put your money and you get nothing out of it at the end of the day. All right, the next thing here talks about withdrawal delays. When it starts getting to the peak, to withdraw your profit becomes a problem. You will find it difficult to make withdrawal. There will be delay in withdrawal. Then you know you have joined a Ponzi scheme. You will see money on your platform, but you cannot withdraw. I remember there was a Ponzi scheme that happened. Maybe it was the same series, I can't remember. They now told people that for them to withdraw the profit that they have, they need to pay a certain amount of money for them to withdraw their profit. Those who are smart felt that that was another scam for them to drop money, then they will shut down the platform and they cannot still get their money back. They can't get the initial money they had on the platform back. So you start having withdrawal delays, or eventually no withdrawal at all happens on that platform. The next one is lack of license or regulation. Is not done anywhere. No government will regulate a Ponzi scheme. Once you cannot prove beyond reasonable doubt what you are trying to do with your company, you not be you can get registered. Company registration is different from regulation. Regulation aspect, they run away from it. They run away from regulation because regulation will fish them out that what they are doing is a scam, and they will not want to get caught by the government. So they always lack license and regulation. They are never licensed, never regulated. Then they have fake testimonial and luxury lifestyle marketing. In fact, this is the one that gets a lot of Nigerians. Somebody just does a video and say, oh, with this investment, this is the house I've built, this is the car I've bought, I've been able to travel on vacation. They start showing pictures and videos of lifestyle. Then that gets into your head and you put down your money and you become the next victim of scam. That's all they do. These are the signs. Why should somebody be showing you their lifestyle? Of what purpose is that to you? You don't need to get carried away by things like that. You see, if you do your own business, you make your own money. Somebody's lifestyle should not be a threat to you, should not get you off your feet to do what you don't want to do. So fake testimonials and luxury lifestyle marketing is part of the ploys part of the things they employ to get people off their feet to invest into their scam, because Ponzi is always a scam. And finally, returns that are unrealistically consistent. There is no consistency. They can never tell you categorically what they use your money to do. You say somebody made 50 million in this investment. How did the investment generate that kind of return? If they can't prove it, they cannot prove it. So these are warning signs that you are getting into Ponzi scheme. No guaranteed high returns. They tell you guarantee. Once you give any reward guaranteed returns, forget it. You are likely getting yourself into a scam or a Ponzi scheme. Pressure to recruit more people. They want you to bring more people because Ponzi always spread by word of mouth. If you put in your money, they pay you. Then you tell your friend, then your friend tells another friend. It's a chain reaction. Before you know what is happening, through you, some 10, 20, 50, 100 people can come in. So it works a lot by word of mouth and recruitment. And they will never explain to you how the profit is generated. You start experiencing withdrawal delays, no licenses or regulation, fake testimonials, and unrealistic and inconsistent result. Now, we want to just look briefly at some famous Ponzi scheme that has taken place in Nigeria. If you're in Nigeria, you can bear with me to some of these Ponzi schemes. Now, one is MMM Nigeria. It is the biggest and the most popular Ponzi scheme to have ever happened in Nigeria. It became extremely popular in the year 2016 and promised up to 30% monthly returns. 30%, not even 100, 30%, a little bit moderate, you know, and millions of Nigerians participated. Nigerians always fall victim to all these things because, and you see, the reason why Nigerians fall victim to many of these things is because of our economy. People want a way out. People are suffering. The government is not doing much. People are, you know, uh, one thing or the other. So they just feel, oh, this is the way out. Let me put my money into this. I can buy a house. I can build it. I mean, I can buy a house. I can buy a car. I can improve my lifestyle. That's the mindset. But then many people get scammed along the way. So millions of Nigerians participated. Eventually, MMM froze accounts and collapsed, causing major losses. Not just major losses, major tears. People wept. People cried. Billions. Yeah, jokes apart. Billions of naira was lost in MMM Nigeria. And MBA Forex was another one. I heard about this one. Those ones use Forex trading as the backbone of their business plan. So it's claimed to trade Forex and generate huge returns. Thousands of investors reportedly lost billions of naira. In fact, this one had some backings from Nigerians, some high profile Nigerians, but they lost billions. Billions of naira got lost in NBA Forex, and the founder faced investigation and legal action. But the truth is that, what is the end result of that investigation and action? This is Nigeria. I will say more than that. Then we have Rackstelly. Rackstelly is another popular one that came up. It promised high returns through referral based investing. So you can see that with all this Ponzi scheme, there's always a referral system. They want you to refer people bring one person to bring another person, on and on like that. That's how the chain, sustains itself. It operated with aggressive recruitment. They were very, very aggressive at recruiting people, very aggressive at recruiting. It eventually crashed, leaving many investors stranded. That's always the end result of all this investment, Ponzi investment. That's why you need to start putting your money into real estate. It's an asset you can see. Stop doing Ponzi, stop doing all these investments that's all over the place. They are not going to help you. Real estate will help you more. So Rockstally eventually crashed, leaving many investors stranded. Then we have Twincast. Twincast was also very popular. It presented itself as a peer-to-peer donation platform. People are just donating money. Similar structure to MMM, became inactive after payout problems. People were donating, people were collecting from the donations until the time came when there was payout problem. There was no need to, but the truth is there was no need to pay out anymore. They've exhausted all the money to be paid out, and they've cashed out with the remaining money of the people. So the platform crashed. Then there was Ultimate Cycler. It operated as a gifting and cycling program, relied heavily on recruitment, collapsed after growth slowed. You can see there's always that recruitment aspect, to all these schemes, because they always need more people. Also, there was Loom Money Nigeria. It spread mainly through social media and messaging apps. Participants were promised quick doubling of money. See, anywhere you see doubling of money, be careful, be careful. It's likely a scam. Structurally unstable, structurally unsustainable, and collapse quickly. Then finally, we have Chinmark Group. They promised high investment returns, faced accusation from investors over unpaid funds, and sparked public controversy and regulatory attention. So these are examples of Ponzi scheme that has come up in Nigeria, and people, if you look at combined how Nigerians, the kind of money people have lost in Nigeria to all this Ponzi scheme, I tell you, it will result to trillions of naira. Imagine if that trillions of naira was used to buy landed property. An average person should be millionaires. See, sometimes I know our government have their problem. I know they do, but sometimes for us too as Nigerians, we have a mindset at trying to make quick money, which we could have done the right way and be wealthy today. Imagine all the billions and trillions that were lost in this investment. They were used to buy landed property. Do you know how rich a lot of people will have become by now? How rich they will have become by now? But people put their money. They are more comfortable to put their money into a Ponzi scheme rather than into real estate. Why do people fall for Ponzi scheme? We need to say this. Why? Why do people fall for Ponzi scheme? Number one reason is because of economic hardship. I mentioned it. When the economy is very harsh, people start looking at the way out. They start looking at the way out. Okay, somebody has a million naira, and they say if you put your 1 million naira into this investment, you get 1 million naira by the end of the month. The temptation is high. Let's be realistic. If you say put that money into land, you get your 1 million in the next 1 year or 2 years. You say, what will person be chopping between now and then? But another one say put your money here now, you get your 1 million by the end of the month. He will be tempted. Let's be real. So economic hardship is one major factor that pushes people into Ponzi scheme. Or someone that has a rent to pay, yeah, his rent is due, he just collected the money, and he's looking at that money, his children have school fees to pay, there are other pending payments, and he knows that that 1 million naira will not be enough to do all what he wants to do. But at least if he can get the 1 million naira back by the end of the month, he can do other things. Then the temptation will be there to put in that 1 million naira into a Ponzi scheme. So usually economic hardship is one major factor that drives people into investing in Ponzi scheme. The second one is greed or urgency for quick wealth. You want to hammer, you want to blow, like the man that put in 11 million or the woman that put in 50 million into CBEX. You've thought about it that, oh, if I can just put in this 11 million naira in the next 10 months, that will be 110 million, because I'll be cashing out 11 million naira every month. But such a person, if he has a paid job, but I go to resign from the paid job because he's expecting to cash out 11 million naira every month, the next forever. See, the question is this: do people even always think that how is this kind of project sustainable? Someone is giving you 100% every month. How will they sustain it? How? What are they doing with the money? Is it, if it's too good to be true, it's likely not true. It's likely not true. So greed is, if I would say, greed is the biggest factor when it comes to people losing money in Ponzi scheme. People can be greedy. It's greed. Now that greed so beclouds and they don't ask questions. Someone is promising you make 100%, you don't ask questions, sir. How do you intend to make this money? How do you make profit? So if I give me 100%, what profit are you making for yourself? Is the person doing charity? It's all greed. You don't ask questions because you are beclouded by greed. The third is social proof. Everyone is doing it. And that's what happens. Mr. A does it, he gets his money back, which is always what happens. The first set of people that go put their money into this investment, they get their money back. So that gives a social proof. So the person says, hey, my brother, my friend, come and do. I just got my money. Then the person talks to people in their circle of influence. Before you know what is happening, 10 people have joined and they also got their money. Now they are widening the net. So if the first level got, the second level of 10 people got, the first person brought 10 people, 10 people may bring 100 people. The net starts getting wider. So the popularity starts soaring. But then at the end of the day, it will collapse because it's always not sustainable. Four is financial literacy. Many people don't know how money work. Many people don't know how investment work. They just, anybody that comes to them and say, oh, I work with an investment company, if you put your money here, we'll double it, and they feel that's how easy it is to double money. It always doesn't work that way. It's not easy to double money. That's why any return on investment have to be realistic. It's got to be realistic. 3%, 5%, 10%, 15%, logical, reasonable. But anything beyond all that, I tell you, your capital is not guaranteed. So our people need to be financially literate. They need to be financially educated to know the risk they are getting into when they are putting their money into programs that are not regulated or licensed, because Ponzi scheme is never a licensed financial program. Finally, trust in friends, family, religious community, leaders promoting the scheme. In fact, this is one of the biggest one. Now you see maybe your boss at work, people of influence, people who have influence over 10, 20, 100 people coming to tell you, showing you proof that, hey, I put my money here. Imagine your church leader or your leader in your group in church, hey, I put my money here and I got my return, I've bought my car, and you can see the car. The person even came to do testimony in church. What else do you think that will lead to? Everybody follows suit, you know. So when you don't trust people to the extent that they put you to lose your investment, the consequences are always big. No matter who is telling you to invest in something, always do your due diligence. It could be your friends, it could be your family member, it could be your religious community, it could be your boss at work. Yes, Abdul Salam Badru, you're welcome. Understandable, good. I appreciate the fact that you're getting what I'm saying. Never put your money into any Ponzi scheme. It always ends in tears. Real estate investment is way better. It's way better. You own the property for life. I was saying earlier, maybe before you joined Abdul Salam, Nigerians have lost trillions of naira into Ponzi scheme. If that trillions of naira had been used to buy landed property, do you know how wealthy a lot of Nigerians will be today? During CBEX last year, somebody lost 10 million, another person lost 50 million naira in CBEX. If that person had used that 10, 50 million to buy land in Nigeria, do you know the value of that land now? The amount of appreciation that will have gone on that land. So don't put your money into any Ponzi scheme, any scheme you don't understand. Now, Ponzi scheme are always very cheap to start. $50, $100, 50,000, 100,000, and the likes. But then the consequences can actually be way bigger. All right, let's look at the final takeaway before I round up. It said real estate investment creates value through ownership and produce and productive use of property, while a Ponzi scheme survives by continuously attracting new investors without creating real economic value. No economic value is created with Ponzi scheme. A legitimate investment may be risky, but it is transparent, asset backed, and sustainable. Ponzi scheme depend on deception and eventually fail. There's a lot of the deception in Ponzi scheme. And a lot of deception. People getting deceived. All right, I've talked so much about comparing real estate investment with Ponzi scheme. So I want to offer you a real estate investment. I've talked about you buying landed property, leaving it to appreciate over a period of time. Is called land banking. I said there's someone I've seen online who bought land around the year 2000 or 2002 or so, at least in the last 23 to 25 years. He bought thousands of hectares, and he said that now that landed portfolio is worth 10 billion naira. That's amazing. That kind of a person is a rich man, is a big man. You understand? Now, imagine if he wants to start selling, he's got the land has appreciated. Even if he bought it for 50,000 naira per plot 23, 25 years ago, he can't sell any of those lands cheaper than maybe 1 million naira or more by now, depending on the location and the infrastructural development that has taken place on that land. One of the biggest ways to invest in land is through land banking. But you see, this man bought land and he just left it plain like that. But there's a better way to do land banking now, and that's by making sure there's an asset on that land. It increases the value of that land and makes appreciation faster. And what we do at the company I partner with is that if when you buy a landed property, it's actually a farming project. It's called Palm Ridge. They will plant palm tree on that land. That is a cash crop being planted. Now, when they plant palm tree on that land, as the palm tree is growing, the value of the land is appreciating. Normally, when you buy land, it will gradually appreciate with time. But when you now have a cash crop like palm tree on it, it appreciates faster. Now, the beautiful thing is that that palm tree will grow to maturity and fruit within 2 to 3 years. When it gets to the point of harvesting, that palm tree can now, that palm kernel, which is the fruit of the palm tree, can be harvested and palm oil can be produced from that. Now, this palm oil is very, very uh, valuable in the market. People cook with palm oil, they do soap, they do detergent, they do a lot of things with it. Now, when this palm oil is sold, you make profit. Now, if you bought an hectare of land, on 1 hectare, you can earn as much as 6 million naira on the palm oil produced from the palm tree that is planted on your land. If it's just one plot, you make 400,000 each time harvesting takes place. If it's an hectare, you make 6 million naira. Now, all this can be done for you without you having to do anything. That's where this company comes in. All they do is that you buy the land from them, they help you with the planting of the palm tree, they help you to grow the palm tree, they help you to harvest the palm oil, the palm kernel rather, they help you to process the palm kernel into palm oil, they help you to sell 5 things. They help you to sell the palm oil, and they credit the money into your account. So on your land, which is appreciating over time, you can also earn a passive income from palm oil of 6 million naira every time harvesting takes place. Harvesting can take place maybe once a year or twice a year. It all depends on the fruiting season. Now, with this, you can create a passive income for yourself while the land is still growing and appreciating by the side. Now, one beautiful thing about palm tree is that palm tree can continue fruiting the next 25 to 50 years. So there's constant cash flow. The more property, the more land you buy, the bigger the amount of money you make from the palm oil business that is being done. Now, this company is not going to do everything free of charge for you. There's a percentage of all this thing that also belongs to them, because you're not going to be lifting a finger. They're going to be doing everything for you. Now, despite the fact that they're taking a small fraction, of the profit, you will still end up earning your 6 million naira if you're buying an hectare, or 400,000 if you're buying a plot. And the more plot, the more hectares you buy, the more money you make on this investment. If I were you, price is going to be changing soon. If you want to get started, reach out to me. I can guide you on how to get started. If you look around this video, you see my contact WhatsApp number there. Just reach out to me there, then I can guide you on how to get started. Don't sleep. Don't snooze. This opportunity is growing real big in Nigeria now, and the earlier you cash into it, the better. So if you're there, you're watching me from diaspora, this is what you need to invest into. There are a lot of Nigerians in diaspora that are investing into this, especially if you're growing older and you need a sustainable income as you begin to approach your retirement. Then you need something to put your money into that can always generate, constant cash flow for you as you begin to age. And if you're still a young person, I mean, there's no harm investing even at a young age. The better for you. It means you grow older, wealthier. And the beautiful part of all this is that this can create sustainable wealth which you can hand over to your children and your grandchildren. All right, that's going to be the end of this uh, video tonight, talking about comparison between real estate investment and Ponzi scheme. If you have enjoyed this broadcast tonight, go ahead and like this video, drop a comment in the comment section, subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell so that you can be notified when next I come up live. Now I come up live almost every day, except on maybe Wednesdays and Sundays by 8 p.m. You'll always see me online. And please watch other videos on this channel. They are very, very educative. It exposes your knowledge to how the real estate market, how the real estate industry really works. Okay, so I'll come your way again another time. Today is Saturday, that's going to be Monday. Take care and have a wonderful weekend, and see you again on Monday. Bye.